I will reshare my screen. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to just do my quick introduction again, now that we're recording. I'm Amy Leisnering. I am the Associate Dean of Inclusive Student Success for the College of Graduate Studies, and I am the current SJSU coordinator for the pre-doc program. So today I have a presentation for you. It should cover all of the basics, all the information that you need. I have some dates available. I will also make this presentation and slideshow available for you afterwards. I will send it out to you. And then at the end, I'd be happy to answer any questions. So, oh, I wasn't sharing. Okay, now you can see it still? Oh, everyone can. Okay, thank you. Okay. So the program for this current cycle is for actually next year, for the 2023-2024 academic year. This year, our campus actually had 3 winners, which was really great. 2 were from the Department of Geonics Studies, and 1 was from physics. So let me advance my slide. There we go. So what is this actual program? Hopefully some of you or all of you have had a chance to either read about it on our website or the Chancellor's website. But this is a CSU-wide program that enables students to explore, prepare, and succeed, hopefully, in their doctoral program of interest. The program provides 2 types of support. If everyone could mute, I'm hearing a little bit of background. There we go. The program provides 2 types of support, both financial and mentoring support, and applicable students can be juniors, seniors, or current graduate students, but anyone whose goal is to pursue a doctoral degree at an accredited U.S. university. Other potential benefits are that all awardees will be designated Sally Casanova scholars. That's the term given to awardees by the CSU, and they'll have an opportunity to apply for a summer research experience, which I'll talk about more in a little bit. There we go. So, like I said, this program provides financial support with it will provide funding up to $3,000 that can be used to apply to conference travel, to other types of professional development, and the purchasing of research materials. You can also, we can talk about this later too, you can also use your funds to visit different PhD programs that you might be interested in attending. And you can also use it to pay for travel to those places and for application fees. You also need to find a faculty mentor. That's a big part of the program. So your faculty mentor, which we'll again talk about in a second, how you might find someone like that, will help you hopefully prepare you to succeed in a doctoral program. Okay, so who can apply? So SJSU matriculated upper division, so junior or senior, or master's degree students who are enrolled at SJSU, you need to be enrolled in the spring of next semester, spring 2023, and also enrolled at a CSU campus for at least the fall semester for next academic year. So that would be fall 2023 as well. I mentioned this already a little bit. Applicants are required to have a faculty sponsor who will be available during the academic year to help them implement a plan that will prepare them for admission to a doctoral program. So this usually means having a research agenda plan and a plan on where to apply and how to go through the application process. Yes, Carlos, I see you have your hand up.
Hi, yes. Just a quick question, sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
So I am completing my thesis, and it will probably carry on, master's thesis, and it will probably carry on possibly into the summer. But because if I do complete it by then and I'm not enrolled next fall, then I will not be able to apply, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
So if you're really, I mean, obviously that's up to you to kind of weigh how you want to do it, because you'd be putting off, obviously, your graduation date, and you'd be having to pay for another semester. So that's something I'd be happy to talk with you later about, you
Sure.
know, if you think that this is something that you really want to do, and we can talk about the pros and cons of each approach.
Sounds
But
great. Thank you.
You do have to be, and all applicants have to be enrolled next fall. Okay, and applicants are required to have a faculty sponsor. Okay, we went through that. Applicants must be a U.S. citizen, a permanent resident, or a DACA recipient. So unfortunately, international students are not eligible for this program. And students interested in obtaining professional degrees, like in medicine or law, or an MBA, are also not eligible. Okay, so what's the role of the pre-doc faculty mentor? Mentors support the Sally Casanova Scholar by guiding them through the program. They may accompany the mentee to doctoral granting campuses for site visits, or they may accompany them to conferences or professional meetings to present research, which will help to expose them to their field of interest. Mentors also assist applicants with information about academic careers, maybe identifying appropriate journal subscriptions that the applicant might want to subscribe to, learning experiences, as well as just ensuring that the applicant's prepared and ready both to apply to doctoral programs, but also to succeed in a doctoral program. Mentors also assist with the preparation of the application form to this program. Okay, pre-doc mentors. So who can actually serve as a faculty mentor? So you want to seek an SJSU faculty member in your field. It should be an assistant, associate, or full professor. So what we call as being a tenured track faculty member. It cannot be a lecturer, which is also known as a part-time faculty member. So it should be someone who knows you well, or at least is interested in working with you and is willing to support your application to the pre-doctoral program. And then obviously they need to be able to make the commitment to serve as your mentor during the award year, which is next year, which is 2023-2024 academic year. So how do you go about finding a mentor if you don't already have one? Perhaps you have an undergraduate advisor, a faculty advisor that you could approach. If you are a graduate student, you might have a thesis advisor that you could work with, or someone who's served as a research mentor to you. It could also be a faculty member who does the kind of research that you want to pursue in your doctoral program. So it doesn't necessarily have to be someone that you know very well, but it should be someone that at least you have approached and talked extensively with about who you are, what you do, and getting the commitment that they're willing to work with you should you actually receive this award. So how to ask a faculty member to serve as your mentor. You could, and again, this is whether I guess whether you have a relationship with them or not, you could visit them during office hours, or, oops, could everyone mute? There's some background noise here. Thank you. You could visit them during the office hours or send a brief email. And we always advise using your SJSU email account because that's more professional. Come on. Oh, there. Oops. Okay. Be respectful. Obviously, use appropriate titles. So you want to start, hey, dear Professor so-and-so, dear Dr. so-and-so. you should definitely introduce yourself and describe, if you don't already know them, describe what you're interested in, state what year you are in school. Talk to them about your graduate school or career aspirations. So what are your goals? You can also mention any relevant coursework that you've taken, what your grades or GPA is, previous lab experience. So if you don't know the faculty member that you're approaching, you definitely want to show them that you are a good student, or that you're very interested in pursuing a PhD, and that you're interested in doing research that lines up with what they're doing. Okay, I just see that you find obviously the faculty sponsor yourself. Sorry, I'm supposed to have someone here monitoring the chat while I do this, but since she's sick, I'm trying to do both of these. An optional thing is you could provide a CV, a resume, or an unofficial transcript. Again, because you're trying to show the potential faculty mentor that you are someone who'd be good for them to work with. Okay. Another thing that's really important is to match up. I've talked about this a little bit already, to match up your research interests with the faculty members. So it doesn't have to be exact, but it should be related. So when you're approaching them, you can talk about how you're familiar with the research that they do and explain a little bit about why it interests you. How is it relevant to what you want to do? Discuss why participating in this research relates to your academic and career goals. And know that faculty members are very busy, especially at certain times of the year, which we're coming up on with both holidays and the end of the semester. So people might not respond right away. We recommend give them a week or two to respond and then send a follow-up email. Or really the best thing to do is if they have in-person office hours, going directly to their office hours, or if they have online office hours, dropping into their online office hours. And don't give up. So let's say you really want to work with a faculty member and they're not getting back to you, or they say that they don't have enough time. Don't give up. If a match doesn't work, you can also ask them if they know of any other colleagues who would be willing to serve as your mentor. Okay, so when you're meeting with faculty, a lot of this is just kind of common knowledge, but just to review, obviously you want to be on time, you want to be prepared, you definitely should know about their research. This is where you could bring copies of your resume, CV, or your unofficial transcripts. Obviously, you want to come off with a professional persona, dressing appropriately, listening attentively, and be ready to discuss your goals and interests regarding your research interests, graduate school and career aspirations. So from my experience, it's really best if you have an actual topic, and even more specifically, plan for what you want to research when you're going into a PhD program. So you don't want to just be super broad and say, oh, I think so my background's in sociology. And actually one of my areas of research was domestic violence and the criminal justice system's response. So I wouldn't want to just say, oh, I think I have an interest in something to do with domestic violence or gender. I don't know what yet. It's really best to be as specific as possible. And that doesn't mean that you might end up deviating slightly from that plan, but the best applications are one where students really have a pretty clear idea about what they want to do and are able to explain that both to the faculty mentor and get support from them, but also explain that in the application. You could end up approaching a mentor that knows nothing about this program. So not all faculty on campus are aware that this program even exists. So you could discuss the expectations. What type of time commitment? This is something that they'll want to know, would they be making? This is really a commitment to support you over, well, right between now and February, when you are preparing your application, and they are actually need to write a letter, and we'll get to that in a minute. But then next year, if you were to be awarded this scholarship, they would also need to be able to be a mentor to you. Make clear your availability. It's always best to try to fit your schedule into theirs instead of the other way around. Make clear your intentions for the relationship. Again, if they don't know about this program, you might want to share a link to the website about it. You might want to have something prepared that would explain what it is that they need to do. What would their role be? And provide information regarding opportunities for the faculty member. So let's say you are proposing to work with this faculty member. They might be able to receive funding for supplies or conference travel as part of the budget that you submit. Okay, any questions up to this point about faculty mentors? Let me see. Let me look at the chat. It has to be so can a mentor be someone with a PhD and works in administration at the research foundation, but not a professor? No, it needs to be a professor on the tenure track here. I'm 99% sure of that, but I haven't gotten this question. So let me write it down, and I can, or actually, Paige, if you don't mind shooting me an email just to remind me that I should look into this, and I can get a specific answer for you and get back to you. I'm pretty sure that the answer to your question is no, but I want to make sure before definitively saying so. And there's this really annoying cricket in my office that was in here yesterday, and it's now hopped over there. So sorry if it's very loud. An MBA student can't apply to this program. So if you're currently an MBA student and you have aspirations to go to a PhD program, you can, but you can't use this scholarship to do an MBA. So if you're a current graduate student and you're going to a PhD program, that's fine, but you have to be using the scholarship with the intent to go to a PhD program. Any other questions about mentors or anything before I move forward?
Thank you, Professor.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you actually apply? So right now, the application is for this current academic year is not available. It is made available in December. I'm not sure what day, but this is where you'll be able to download the PDF version of the application packet. It's at the Cal State website. You might be able to go and look now, and if they still have last year's application, so you can see what it looks like, but I'm not sure if they have that up. But I know for a fact that they don't have the current or the upcoming application ready, but this is where you'll find it. Like I said, it'll be available in December. There is information on the website about what types of essays that you should be writing. So you can go ahead and start working on those while you're seeking a faculty mentor if you don't already have one. You can work on your student budget plan with your faculty mentor. Again, I think there's information on the website about what the budget should look like. And they're really wanting your budget to be $3,000, definitely not over and not much under. So, people will be looking at your application if you apply. I review all of the applications before they're submitted. If you have further questions about this and you need some ideas, I'd be always happy to talk to someone about that. And then you'll submit your application to the pre-doc campus coordinator, which is me. That's my email address, and I'll give you some dates in a minute. Basically, I have to be able to review every application before it is submitted to the CSU system. Okay, so your application packet should include general, personal, and the educational information sections that you'll find on the application. The student budget, which we were just talking about. So you want to come up with a budget for spending $3,000. Again, that could be things like conference travel, conference fees, visits to PhD programs that you potentially are interested in, research materials, 3 essays, the topics of which are given on the application and the website. There's a faculty sponsor form that needs to be filled out by your faculty sponsor, and a faculty sponsor letter of recommendation. So once your application is received by the chancellor's office, your faculty member who you've indicated on the application is going to serve as your mentor and provided their email address, they'll be notified that they need to upload this letter of recommendation. And your transcripts. So tips to produce a successful application. So your essays are really important. I actually read through all of the essays and give some feedback. I've seen some really strong essays and some really weak ones. You don't want to go over the word limit. There should absolutely be no typos. So you want this to be, really well written, because think about it, you're competing with lots of other applicants from all other 20-some CSU campuses. So you also want to make sure you answer the prompt really thoroughly. So again, specifics are always good. I think especially when you're talking about what your research agenda is, like I mentioned, you want to be more specific more than broad, and be clear in your student budget plan. I talked about this a little bit already. You want to provide estimated dates. So let's say you want to go to a professional conference or professional meeting, provide the date. Let's say you want to visit a campus to figure out if that's the place that you would like to apply to study for your PhD. You'd want to provide estimated dates of travel. And again, your plan should be realistic and it must add up to $3,000. Okay, the letter of recommendation. What should the letter address? And again, this is something that I'll be making available after this presentation, and you could always provide it to whoever agrees to be your faculty mentor. You really want the mentor to describe in the letter that they hold you in very high regard, so that you're an excellent academic student with strong research potential. That's what they're looking for here. So that's why we suggest starting with someone that who is familiar with your work. Obviously, it's easier to convince someone to be your mentor if they are already familiar with you. But if they're not, you want to provide them supporting evidence of that, which is why we recommend, talking about bringing your CV, talking to them about maybe internships that you've had or experiences that you've had or grades that you've gotten in certain classes. Let's see, I see there's another question. The letter of recommendation needs to be from the mentor. Yes, it needs to be from the mentor. So the letter should discuss the following about the student: describe skills and ability, your mastery of theory and method, accomplishments, motivations. And again, it doesn't have to cover all of this stuff, but here's some things that you could potentially ask the mentor to discuss. And they need to describe your potential to succeed as a doctoral student. So if you have past research experience, that's really helpful. But again, even if you don't, it's really good to have a plan. And hopefully your faculty mentor could discuss that in their letter of recommendation. Okay, so the final application submission. Here's are some deadlines. So you want to submit your application package to me no later than right before midnight on February 5th, because I need to have time to review everyone's applications before giving you the go-ahead to upload it to the CSU website. So this will give you about 2 months, depending, I'm not sure exactly when in December they will make the application packet available to you. Obviously, we talked about you can start working on some things before that. So it's helpful. It would be helpful for me to get this before February 5th. So I have more time to kind of turn this around, because as you'll see, the final documents have to be uploaded to the Chancellor's website by 5 p.m. on February 17th. So there needs to be time for me to look at everyone's materials and then give you feedback. You know, hey, you need to work on grammar issues in this essay, or you need to work on your budget needs to be stronger, that kind of thing. So you want to give yourself time to respond to the feedback that I give you. And you also want to make sure that your mentor knows that they will receive an email from the Chancellor's office requesting to upload their letter of recommendation. Again, you'll be entering their information into the application, and then the system will reach out to your faculty mentor and say, it's time for you to upload your letter. And then what happens next? So the College of Graduate Studies, basically right now, that's me. I mean, I'm not everyone in the college, but I'm the person that works on this. We'll work with you to polish your application package before the online submission to the Chancellor's office. And you cannot submit your application to the Chancellor's office without receiving a code from us. So this is to ensure that everyone who has submitted something has had it reviewed by the campus coordinator. So you all are on this call now, which is great. So you're finding information out about this. Every once in a while, I'll get someone reaching out to me, you know, February 10th. Okay, I'm ready to submit my packet. What do I do? But I haven't heard from them or know nothing about them up until that point. So that person would not get the go ahead to do this. So you're taking an important first step in even just getting all of this information and knowing that you have to work with me before moving ahead. Whoops, let me go back. Okay, I already said this. The sooner you submit, the more time CGS will have to work with you. Applicants will be selected based on 3 major criteria: the potential for success in completing a doctoral program, the effectiveness of the student-faculty plan, and this is a scholarship that's based on, that is partially given out for economic need and whether or not a student has educational hardships. So students like first-gen students or students from historically underrepresented minority groups, often, and that's not the only people that receive this, but that helps an applicant. And there's places to talk about this in the essays. And I don't know if this part is true, actually, if there's going to be a rubric available in December. In the past, they have released a rubric on that gives guidance on how every application will be reviewed, but they might not be doing that anymore. I need to check on that one. Okay, so I talked about that, the fact that if you actually receive this scholarship, you have an opportunity to do a summer research experience, and this would be in the 2024 academic year. So it would be in the summer of 2024. So this is available to Sally Casanova scholars who are not admitted into a PhD program for the fall 2023 academic year. And it allows scholars to pursue doctoral level research under the guidance of a faculty member at an institution of their choice. So when students do this, they'll select a place to go and conduct research. Obviously, there has to be someone that agrees to do this. And so it's basically you would be conducting research for the summer, which would really help elevate your chances to get into a PhD program. Scholars may participate at any accredited doctoral institution within the US. The established partnership with UC offer added benefit of enhanced professional development and dorm residency. So there are, if you're interested, and this is something that you don't really need to think about now, because first you actually have to submit your application and get the award, and then you can think about this, but finding a place to do research with at a UC is beneficial. The cost associated with a summer research experience are you have to be able to travel to and from the institution. There's room and board, but you do receive a stipend ranging between $4,000 and $5,000 for doing 8 to 10 weeks of research. And scholars may not work anywhere else during this time period. Scholars are primarily responsible for identifying and contacting potentially faculty sponsors. So this is different from the faculty mentor. This would be, if you're doing the research experience, it would have to be a faculty mentor at a PhD granting institution. So you would work with the pre-doc advisor and faculty mentor they might be able to help you find a potential sponsor at an institution. Obviously, your faculty mentor got their PhD from somewhere, and perhaps they have connections there still, or know of someone that you could do research with. And then during the scholarship year, take the opportunity to look at other institutions if you choose to make campus visits. How to apply for this? Applications for Sally Casanova scholars will become available online in November 2023. So if you actually are awarded this scholarship, you'll be able to apply for the summer research portion next year. And the deadline for application submission is due sometime in late February 2024. And it has to go through the CSU pre-doc program at the Office of the Chancellor. So they decide who actually is awarded the summer research opportunity. Your CSU faculty member does have to approve your application. They sign off on it. And there will also be 3 essays required for this application submission. And just to be clear, if you do become a Sally Casanova scholar, you don't have to apply for this. It's just an additional opportunity. Okay, my last slide here. If you have just kind of general questions about deadlines or dates, you can email the graduate scholarships at SJSU. And please, if you could indicate that you're referring to the pre-doc program in the subject of your email, because we have multiple scholarships that people ask us about. And you certainly can email me. My email is right there. It's also on the CGS webpage. Okay. Oh, I see there's more questions in the chat. Let me stop my slideshow and I will take a look at these questions and see if there's any other questions. So stop share. All right, let's see here. One of the requirements that were enrolled in class for fall 2023. However, one of the, oh, I'm sorry, there was a typo. Thanks for catching that. I thought all of the dates were changed from this presentation from last year, but the requirement for the summer research program is that you wouldn't be in a PhD program in fall 2024. So let me make a note I'll fix that before I post and send out the slides. So thanks for pointing that out. Yes, that is very confusing. If you accept the scholarship, do we have to do the summer research experience? No, you don't have to. Yeah, you asked it before I responded. Okay. Any other questions that I can answer?
With the summer research experience, when they say you can't be employed anywhere else, what do they mean exactly?
That is a good question. It means that you can't, I mean, obviously you would be on site. You'd go and live there, wherever it is that you're doing this research. You wouldn't be able to have, you can't have another job while you're there, basically. I mean, if it's something like super specific, you can go ahead and email me and I can forward it to the chancellor's office, to the person that is in charge of this scholarship. How does that sound?
Yes, thank you.
Sure. Equipment is an acceptable part of the budget plan. Yep. If you have certain equipment that you need in order to do research, you can definitely put that in the budget. Anything else?
Professor, yeah, I'm Thanh. I would like to have a few questions. I graduated in summer next year. That means that if I would like to apply to this program, I have to enroll in fall 2023. Again, you have a mention.
You have to be enrolled in the fall of next year, correct? So if you're graduating in the summer, then you wouldn't be eligible for the scholarship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think someone else had a similar question. It's, it's up to each student to decide if it's worth delaying graduation for this. I mean, you could always, when do they, I mean, that's maybe something that you would want to talk to your advisor about too.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say whether it's worth delaying your graduation for a whole semester to do this, because obviously it's more time, expense.
Yeah, because I already wanted to graduate in spring, but it still have one class that is trail me, so it is in the spring. Otherwise, I can have that in the fall in order to apply to the program. That is something that I think over.
Yeah, that's an option for sure.
That an option.
Someone else had a question. I'm currently completing my graduate degree. How do I determine if a doctoral program is right for my career goals? So Paige, do you mean in general or a specific program?
Just in general, determining if, like, what are some things I need to consider, whether I go out and, continue like working after I get my graduate degree, or if I need a doctorate degree for what I want to do in my career. So what are things I need to consider for that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's very discipline specific. So do you mind me asking what your degree is in, or what program that you're in?
I'm in transportation management at the College of Business.
Okay, so you would want to talk to either the graduate program coordinator there, or someone, a professor, or even several people to get their opinion. Tell them what you think you're interested in doing and, get their thoughts on it. I think that's really the best way to know, because they're the experts in the field. They should know the field. They should be able to talk to you about the pros and cons of, going forward with a PhD program or working. So that's what I would recommend. And you also sometimes can get a lot of information by just looking at different programs' websites about their PhD program. Sometimes they'll list information. What do their graduates do with their degree? A lot of times people with PhDs end up in higher ed, but not necessarily. There's a lot more applied fields in some areas where people have a PhD and practice in industry. I'm a sociologist. There's not a whole lot that you do with a PhD in sociology besides work at a university, but actually that, you know, there's some. So I would recommend talking to people in your field to start with. Does that help?
It does, yes, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, that helped my page. Thank you, Professor. That helped me as well.
Oh,
So
good.
I have one more question.
Sure.
That if we apply for the PhD, can we work full time at the same time, or that we don't have time to
For the summer research experience?
for general or for the research as well? For the research, I heard that we are not able to work full time.
Only if you, only while you're doing the summer research experience. If you don't do that, it doesn't matter, you know, you can be working. They just don't want you to have another job while you're doing that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? Okay, well, I'll definitely fix my typo in here. I'll send the slides out to you and I'll send a link to this presentation, but feel free to reach out to me if you have further questions that come up while you're going through this process, or if you have something, a specific scenario that you want to ask me about. I also have, let me look when I have that. I have drop-in office hours to deal just with people who have questions about this on Monday, November 28th from 10 to 11:30. So if you want just to have, if you have like a one-on-one question, you can drop in then. If you can't make that time, just shoot me an email and I can hopefully answer any questions that you have. And if I can't answer them, then I can direct you to the representative at the chancellor's office. Sound good?
Yes, thank you.
Well, thanks you all very much. Oh, no more questions, just thank you. Okay, great. I'm going to stop the recording.